A counter trap on that. The ball was handed to Jackson Rainier, who in turn tried to make an outside handoff, and he was tackled in the backfield. Plays like that take a little longer to develop with a misdirection like that, and if you get penetration as the Bow Falcons did then, it's going to be tough to get that off. And Jackson never got to the handoff, and on his part, he didn't fumble, which was great, because it's right during those exchanges like that can happen. So now we get the quarterback in the shotgun with double splits, and wide open, number 20, wide open. He's going to be going in for a touchdown. Great pattern. Gabe Keene ran an out. There was absolutely nobody there, and Luke Diamond let it fly. And he caught it on the run. It was a great throw, a great catch, and then he turned it upfield and then put 6 on the board. So your Bobcats are up 6-0 with 7:31 left in the first quarter. Caden Mansu is the kicker, and Caden was on the money last week. He does a nice job. He's just a sophomore. We got the snap, the ball's down, it's up, and it's a chip shot. It's good. So, Plymouth Bobcats draw the first blood, 7-0 over the Bow Falcons with 7:31 left in the first quarter. So the Bobcats are off to a good start. Historically, Plymouth loves the ball right off the bat, and if teams defer to them, they usually pay with the Bobcats scoring a touchdown. But I think that drive that we saw, and then coming back with a penalty, lets you know that these kids are determined. They're going to make fewer mistakes as they go along. And I think we've got a good day for football. I think we're going to have a great game. And I think the Bobcats are ready to go. But now we'll get a chance to see the Bow Falcons on offense.
Well, Coach, it's great to be back with you after all the technical difficulties.
I like to talk, dude.
Yeah, sorry about that. We apologize. Everything kind of fell apart last second with our feed from upstairs, so got to listen to Coach for a little bit. So Plymouth, with the extra point, makes it 7-0. Beautiful day here in Plymouth, New Hampshire for this NHIA Division II football matchup. And Coach, we're going to talk pregame, but look at things for Plymouth as Bow Falcons offense makes their way to the field for the first time. Well, Plymouth 42-7 win last week, 7-7 in the first quarter, but it was a real battle for them and a lot of penalties, a lot of issues. But what did you like about Plymouth's play last week?
Well, I mean, the thing is they did what they're doing today. They just pounded the ball forward. They ran the ball, good blocking on the line. The kids picked up the holes, and they just did a nice job overall.
Handoff here to the left side, and it will be Gavin McCabe for the carry, the senior running back.
Plymouth clogged that hole pretty quick in gang tackles, so they didn't pick up much, maybe a couple of yards.
McCabe last week, 17 rushes, 86 yards, averaging 5.1 yards per carry, and that loss to Sanborn. And this Bow team, always a difficult team to play in Division II, but struggled last week in the season opener. Handoff here to McCabe again, gets out to about the 40, and it'll be 3rd and 5.
That was a great tackle by number 22 for Plymouth, Nathan Lyons. He came in knee high and stopped him. That was a great tackle.
So go ahead, Coach.
No, I was just going to say it's about 3rd and about 5, and we'll see what Bow's going to do here, if they're going to throw the football or not.
So we are on the other side of the press box for the first time ever, trying to make this our new home. Then the library about a mile away, but thank you for dealing with our technical difficulties. So we're under center for Glover. Throws it out to the right side, and a broken up pass nicely by the Bobcats. Good work getting in there was Will Foisey.
It was a great defensive play, because what happened too is you had the tight end who set up as if it was going to be a screen pass, and then he released to the outside, and Rainier stayed with him, so there was no possibility to get the ball to him, and then Foisey came up and tipped the ball away. It was a real good job by the secondary on that. And last week it was the short pass that they struggled with because they were given the quick outs and whatnot. So a good response to that play. And now they're back to punt. Bo's punting. Ball snapped on the ground. He picks it up. He kicks it. And ball's bouncing. Number 15, Logan Marsh, lets the ball die on the field, which was a good move. And Plymouth's going to take over on their, looks like 29-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 on the 29. And second possession for the Bobcats.
Talk about Plymouth last week, all pretty much running. Diamond 3 for 5, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, but a lot of running. You saw Robbie Thorne go for 122 yards, Ben Valenti 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. So see if it's going to be another power offense for the Bobcats. Diamond. Handoff up the middle. Gain of about 5. We'll see where they mark it here for Thorne.
Robbie Thorne at 6'2", 230 pounds is quite a force. I mean, if he falls down, he's still gaining yards because he's falling forward. But he runs very well. He runs hard. He's not going to juke anybody, but he's going to run you over and make you pay for it. So he did a nice job on that.
Official timeout here for Gavin McCabe, who has to come off the field with a bloody elbow. So Brady Lover will come in to replace him. 2nd down for Plymouth here in the home opener for the Bobcats. Oh, a little trickery there. Jackson Rainier across the 40, enough for the 1st down, but that could have been deadly with them running into each other in the backfield.
Yeah, that was an inside handoff to the wingback, who's Jackson Rainier, and they kind of collided there. But Jackson's he's very quick, and he gets upfield. He has a good nose for the ball, and he cut that up and turned that into a 1st down run. So good job by him. And he and Luke just need to get more, timing-wise, more in coordination, but it worked. So we're looking at 1st and 10 from the 42 of Plymouth. Rainier's wing to the right. We got 2 backs to the right.
Diamond under center. A little pitch back there.
Quick pitch.
Valenti across to about the 45. And it's all, again, you talked about it last week, 3 to 3rd. Just less than 4 yards a carry. Just keep moving those chains.
Yeah, my old coach always said 3.5 yards is all you need. So that was just a quick pitch to Valenti at fullback. Historically, Plymouth has done that a lot, and it's a good way to go. Now we got split left, tight end right, and a full backfield.
Handoff again, this time going up the middle for Gabe Keene.
Yeah, Gabe did a great job hanging on to the ball because the kid was 51. Jackson Hall was trying to tear that thing out of there. So Gabe did a great job hanging on to it, and he picked up a few yards. So now we're looking at 3rd and about 3.
Just shy of midfield at the Bobcats 49 here in their 2nd drive of the game, up 7-0.
And coach came back in this direction, so he was running a trap on that.
Same formation once again. Keene Thorne in the backfield. Handoff. Keene has some running room, still driving his feet out to about the Falcons 45 for a Bobcat 1st down.
And as my friend Paul Ferentz would say, they're moving the chains.
That's all you got to do, little by little.
Again, Keene, Keene and Valenti both cut the ball up quickly, and that's something you try to teach kids. And a lot of times they want to run for the daylight outside, but you can cut the ball straight up north and south, and you generally take away the angle on the tackle, and you get further yardage by that. We're in the sprint draw formation right now.
Keen in motion. Play action.
We're going to throw
Diamond going to throw out to his left, finds Jackson Rainier across the 40 and tackled at about the 35.
So Rainier came off the wing, kind of a little bit of a delay into the flat. It was open, and he seems to catch everything near him.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. That one down by his kneecaps, up high and away, he's got the athletic ability. Timeout on the field, taken by Plymouth. Their first charge timeout here of the first half.
That loud noise you might hear is Coach Sanborn, who I nicknamed Coach Screamborn, because at times when he's not being listened to, you know it. But Coach evidently wanted the kids to do something, and he tried to call timeout, and nobody was paying attention. So they've got their timeout right now, and they're on the 34-yard line of Bow with a first down, so they're in pretty good position right now, and I'm sure the boys will be more attentive going forward.
2:35 remaining first quarter. Fans, be sure to join us Friday night, our first night game of the season. Bobcats will be traveling to Merrimack Valley to take on the Pride. Kickoff at 6:30. Coverage starting, hopefully, knock on wood, if everything goes well with technical difficulties, at 6:15.
We've got that good defensive line with Tyler Madero, 6'3", 250 pounds. And next to him, I believe Aiden Bryant, 66.
Bargwin alone on the near side, wide. Got targeted a couple times last week. Thorne with a little pitch back to him, diving to about the 30. Gain of 4 on the carry. 4 on the carry, good for 3. We're going to give him 3 yards on that carry instead.
Yeah. Well, he just has to fall down. He gets 3 right there,
Exactly. With his height, yeah, that's all you need.
But they did the toss with the fullback again, and somebody missed a block on that, because he would have gotten many more yards, I think, if they had gotten that. But he got hit low, and of course these big guys, you hit them low, and that's how you get them down. But he falls forward and picks up 3. We're split wide to the right now. We're in the speed sweep formation with a single fullback and the 2 wings.
In motion, Keene. Handoff for Valenti. Bounces off a couple of defenders. Still getting some yards after contact.
Yeah.
And he's across the 25.
Yeah. That's the one where you set your wing in motion, he becomes the decoy, and he comes across, because in the speed sweep, if you hand the ball to him, he's got a head start, and he goes around the opposite end. On this play, they came in motion, faked that, and gave it to the fullback straight up the middle. And Valenti actually ran into one of his blockers, and then he bounced off that and then went ahead another, 5 or 6 yards. But they got another first down, so now we're down to the 22-yard line, 1st and 10.
So here comes Diamond back on after getting the play call. He'll meet with his huddle. 1:28 and counting here in the first quarter. Bobcats still leading 7-0. Trying to threaten here once again in the opening quarter. Great atmosphere, great crowd on the hillside on the far side that we get to see for the first time this year. Diamond, play action, going to step back, throw over the middle.
He's got a man wide open.
Oh, and incomplete.
He overthrew him a little bit, but
Bargwin had the target, but some fans might have wanted defensive pass interference, but that was well out of his reach, so no one called by the officials.
Well, I think when he tackled him, I think the ball was up and beyond his hand anyway, and he couldn't have caught that, I don't think. A little bit overthrown by Luke. But they've got that, and they can see that, and they're going to make him pay. So we're looking at 2nd down and 10 now.
Bobcats continue this drive here. Clock continuing, where it stops at 1:06 after that incomplete. Diamond going to go out to the left side. Might have been a push-off. Incomplete. They're going to say he was out of bounds. Tough work there for Will Foisey.
Well, that was a great catch. That was his back shoulder. I mean, well-thrown ball, back shoulder. He turned. There was contact with the defender, and I'm just wondering if he would have come down if he hadn't had that contact. He may have been pushed out.
And that's what Sanborn is arguing right now. We can see his hand gestures on the far side. It looked like he was pushed out is what he's saying. But, again, like college, you only need 1 foot, and now they overturned to a touchdown.
It's a touchdown. So good job by Coach Sanborn to get on that. That was they were so close to that side, and the contact made with the defensive back wouldn't allow him to come straight down inbounds. So we're looking at a nice pass and a great catch by Luke and Mr. Will Foisey. So we're looking at 13-0 right now with the chip shot artist Caden Mansue coming on, and Caden's been pretty good. I don't want to jinx him.
Ball down,
Snaps
kick
up,
is up.
ball's
It's
up.
super high, and talk about hang time, but it's good in a Bobcat 14-0 lead.
Well, and what you look for in a guy that kicks extra points in particular is you want to be able to get the ball up high quick. We had a great football player decades ago by the name of Jeff Beckley, who went on to play at BC on a full boat, and he was a kicker, but he was also a punter. And when he got tryouts in the NFL, he was for kickoffs, not extra points so much at field goals, because Jeff didn't always get the ball up as quickly as possible. And of course, in the NFL, you're dealing with 6'3" to 6'6" on the line.
On the low side.
On the low side. So, but Caden's got a great foot, and wow.
Andrew just blew our eardrums off here, our producer. Thank you, Andrew Fenn, for coming back and helping us out, by the way.
Is that blood coming out of your ear?
It might be. It got my heart started again.
Can I turn down a little bit? I mean, I like to hear myself talk, but not that much.
Again, we're dealing with some technical difficulties. We've been working through it our first time over here in the press box. As the kickoff is up and snagged there by Gansars. Still on his feet, about the 26. So we'll see where they mark him down. So good coverage there by the kickoff team for the Bobcats.
Cooper Legacy with the tackle on that. Did a nice job. It's like he was wrestling him to the ground. A little body slam there. I think Cooper was not. I think he was injured last game. I recall seeing him without uniform.
Yeah, he was out last game. I mean, a dynamic player on the lacrosse team as well. He had some beautiful goals last season.
So Sauhegan lines up in the T formation with the quarterback under center.
That's Bow, not Sauhegan,
but
it's all right.
I'm sorry.
Handoff in the backfield, and the Bobcats there swarming for the tackle. Harrison Denise there with the carry.
I think they're both like, yellow and black?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Bo's got the blue, the navy blue, but yeah, Sauhegan's the night game coming up at the end of the month on Friday. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff, so late night for all of us. Tight formation here again for Bow. Lover under center. And play action, keeps it himself and has nowhere to run. And Nossaman was in on the tackle first with some help.
Nossaman on the sack.
4 Bobcats on that guy. That's a gang tackling is good. And that was the end of the first quarter with the Bobcats up 14-0.
So now that we are up and running, so to speak, Coach, you got to see that first drive, and really for both teams. What stood out to you early on here for Plymouth and for Bow?
Well, I think Plymouth's line is bigger than the Bow kids. I think that they are controlling the line of scrimmage. The running backs are running with their heads up to see where they need to cut. The Plymouth kids are getting the ball turned upfield quickly, and they may not have the speed that Dylan Welsh had last year, but they've certainly got good quickness and instinct, and their speed is decent. Keene is probably the fastest back on the field, but he and Valenti's got good speed, and they've done a nice job. But the line is controlling the game, and you always win in the trenches. And I think Plymouth's line's been doing a great job. What we're seeing today, or what we're not seeing today, is penalties. And last week, both sides had a lot of penalties, though we didn't have as many as Pembroke. But today, I think there was 2 holding calls, 1 on each team, and that's been it.
Yeah, you talk about penalties last week, and that's traditional. Week 1, everyone's just nervous for the start of the season, trying to work through your formations and everything. But penalties were rife for Bow. I mean, they had some great plays, some explosive offensive plays, saying Coach Paul Cohen. You had that solid goal line stand, but they just couldn't overcome that early deficit to Sanborn.
So the other piece here is that Plymouth is running a ground game, and that is chewing up the clock, and those drives consume a lot of time. So when you're like that and you get up, it's hard for the other team to catch up at that point.
So 3rd down and long here for the Falcons. Play action, Lover options out to the outside for Schumacher. Still bouncing off a couple of tackles, gets to about the 30. A gain of only a couple.
Well, they covered that option well, and it was pretty close. The quarterback was kind of like faking he was going to pitch, and then last minute he did, and they got the ball. But it's 4th down and about 7, so they'll be turning it over on downs with a punter number 7, who I don't see.
Yeah, I don't
7.
have on our roster, so we apologize for that.
And we've got back to receive the punt. That's a low line drive. And Logan Marsh is going to pick it up, and he's going to sidestep
at the
up
40,
the field.
across midfield. Has some running room on the right side, and is tackled at the Falcon 36. In great field position, but there's a flag down the backfield over by the Bobcat bench, and we'll see what the call is here.
Well, it could be blocking from behind, possibly, but that was a great move initially by Logan and a great run, and he's got some speed when he gets going. Special teams is critical to the success of any program, and the Bobcats have been doing a pretty good job. From the point of the foul, we're going to have, looks like a 15-yarder.
So,
yeah,
not great field position now in comparison to what Plymouth was about to have.
What was that, 5 yards from the infraction? But it takes them back to the 35-yard line. It was a push from behind.
Yeah, we're checking our other rosters. We don't have a number 7 on our other Bow roster, so we apologize for that. Try to get that for you at halftime. Nevertheless, Bobcats offense back to work for the 3rd time today. They're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns, up 14-0. Here with 11-12 to go in the 2nd quarter. Handoff right side. Chance going forward for Eli Crane. He's across the 40 and about to the 43. Carry of about, well, we'll see if they mark it.
6.
And they're going to mark it, yeah, about 6 yards there by the looks of things. Mark it up to 43.
So again, they're running that off tackle hole consistently, and Bo's not finding a way to stop that right now.
Bargwin, the lone wide receiver on the near side. Falcons showing blitz. Pitch out Valenti trying to get a stiff arm. Flag coming in on the near side of the field. Valenti across midfield out to the Falcon 46, but we'll see what the call is here. I expect it to be a hold on someone on the offensive line for Plymouth.
Yeah, it's a hold against Plymouth.
It is indeed.
I think we jinxed them by talking about
I know,
the
right?
penalties. Well, that was just for the first quarter. We're not counting.
Yeah, we haven't gone. We
yet.
weren't talking about that yet. So,
but there was penetration made by the cornerback on that slowed Ben up, and he had to outrun that guy and then had to try to stiff arm the next guy. So it was pretty well covered by Bow. When you're big and strong, you know the going straight ahead, north and south, is better than try to stretch it out. And again, it was, if Dylan Welsh had been there, he might have been a little quicker, so he would have gotten out there. But Ben is not as fast, but Ben is still a good runner.
Definitely strong runner. That backs them up to their own 33. It's 2nd and 13, 2nd and 12.
Yeah.
Scoreboard just out of our line of sight here in the press box. Let's see what Plymouth can do here.
Well, they're in their speed sweep formation. And
Bow going to cover it on the far side. Play action.
Well,
not play action, really throw out there as Diamond looking was going to throw. Fooled a couple of defensive backs, but really no gain, nowhere for the Bobcats to go.
Well, number 85, Adam Auclair, was a tremendous play. He fought off 2 blockers. He had a pulling guard and a back trying to block him. He fought them back. He didn't give up any ground. Fought them, got a hand on the runner, pulled the runner down, and it was cleaned up by some other fellows. But that was a heck of a play, and that's exactly how you stop the speed sweep. If you can shoot to the outside to turn things in, that's what you want to do.
Get those numbers working in your favor. And this has always been a strong defensive line for Bow. Seen it the last few years. Again, you lose your seniors, but still a lot of talent for this Falcons. High snap, dangerous. Diamond on a hop, able to keep it and run. Trying to make something out of nothing. He's pushed out of bounds near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was a high snap from center that went over his head. He got a lucky bounce and picked it right up, and then he eluded a couple of tacklers, but that really threw things off. So now we're at 4th down, so we'll be punting. And the punter is Trevin Stone. Hopefully Trevin will get a good one off.
And didn't have to punt last week, if I remember correctly.
I don't think
he came on to punt, just the kickoff. So first punt action we've seen for the Bobcats this season.
Good snap by center.
Stone, high arching kick. It's going to be gathered up. Fair caught. It's off of a Bobcat foot, but play continues. They're going to down it at the 23.
Well, that was kind of a last-minute wave on that part, but fortunately, and the guy that covered that, Logan Marsh, was right there, and actually he downed it where it rolled to, which was the 21-yard line.
It was Miles Miller, the sophomore, who made that fair catch signal, number 22.
Yeah, they're trying to. Bo is trying to say that ball should have been down where it landed, that it hit Plymouth player.
It looked like it hit the foot, for sure.
But we're not moving. It's going right there where it ended at the 21, 22-yard line.
So that's where Bow's offense will go back to work here. 8:53 to go in the second quarter. Plymouth leading 14-0.
There was a good punt by Trevin Stone. If he had just gotten the turnover at the top of the height of the punt, that ball would have gone another 10 yards. But he hit that spiral nice. Just missed the turnover, and that gives you a little more distance.
Lover under center, I formation here for the Falcons. Plymouth trying to get that shift. Driving forward is Miller, and he might get back to the original line of scrimmage. We'll see where they mark it. It might actually be a loss of 1. It is a loss of 1, so 2nd and 11 now.
I think it looked like Eli Crane came up quick to make that play.
Really seems as though Plymouth playing more confident after week 1 here at home. Again, you're home fans, you're home. You're not traveling in the bus. Not nearly as hot as it was last week.
Yeah.
Falcons trying to get something going offensively. Handoff in the backfield. McCabe has nowhere to go, and he's swallowed up.
My name is Cullen McNair. He was there to greet the running back about 5 yards in the end in the backfield. It was a great play by him. He slipped by whoever was trying to block him and put him down. So we're looking at 3rd and about 15 now.
And a timeout taken by Bow here as they'll try to gather themselves up and regroup. Fans, join us on Tuesday afternoon for our first field hockey coverage of the year, as the Bobcats will play host to John Stark and the Generals. Coverage, we're going to try to go live this year if we're able to over at the field hockey field. Trying to get on about 3:45 for 4 o'clock start, but if not, full replay will be available later that evening on our YouTube channel and throughout the week on channel 1302. I've been trying to work with facilities and getting some more infrastructure out of the fields. We would love to go live for all home events for the Bobcats, but we're getting there slowly.
Well, I think that would be, if anybody's listening, the Bobcat Classic Golf Tournament has been used to raise funds for the various sports. It's for athletics. But that might be something that would benefit all athletics to have the technology that works well. And maybe that's something they could put that money towards.
Trying to work for that next year for sure. Back underway out of the Falcons timeout. Throw out the flat. Catch is received there by Ryan McCabe. His first catch of the afternoon. A target last week for sure, but has nowhere to go. And again, it's another loss and fourth down.
They threw a quick screen to the left. He came out to the right, spun around, and threw the ball. But Plymouth had two guys out there. So they, that's the thing is when your D-backs read the keys and stay where they're supposed to stay, that's the kind of defense you get, and they did a great job on that play.
So 3 straight plays with negative yardage, and the Falcons have to punt. High booming kick, gathered up by Marsh at his own 49, has some blockers. Big hit by Valenti to open up some more room, and pushed out at about the 38-yard line.
Well, and Valenti's block was close. You get him from the side, boy, if you can see the front numbers or the back numbers, you don't hit him. But he got right in there and took him out. It was a great block. Mansu did a nice job on that as well. Yeah.
So they'll mark it at the 38, so short yardage here for the Bobcats on this drive, 7:17 to go here in the opening half. Plymouth still leading 14-0. Diamond under center. A fullback handoff here to Thorne, and he'll dive across the 35.
Thorne on the carry.
It's a nice run by Thorne. Picked up his usual 4 or 5.
And official timeout here for an injured Bow Falcon player who was able to get off under his own plower. That was Caleb Schumacher, who I believe complained about someone on his neck in that tackle. I do like being over on this side this year, able to hear more of the interactions with the officials and players. Give us better insight on the game. Here we go once again. 2 in the backfield for the Bobcats. Handoff, right side, going for Crane, and gets close to the sticks.
Crane did a nice
job.
job.
And they will give him a first down.
They're pounding that 2-hole, which is inside the tight end and outside of the tackle in there. And they're going to do it back to the other side now. But
it's Thorne driving, dropping his shoulder, carrying 3 guys still on his feet inside the 10. Oh, Robbie Thorne
he's got to get a nickname. Freight Train, I don't know.
Oh, let's go. That's the cleanest thing to have right now. Freight Train for sure.
But he did he showed a little bit of speed and agility on that. He went through the hole, he kept running, he got hit, he kept running, then he had 3 or 4 barnacles on him, and he was able to take them all down with him, down to inside the 10 on the 9-yard line. So Plymouth is first and goal.
But with that, what's key is we see it more and more now coming through the collegiate to the high school level is he's keeping his feet moving with contact. He's not just trying to throw his body, he's driving those legs, and that's where you're getting your power from.
Yeah.
So first and goal is coach set for the Bobcats. Trying to get their 3rd score. 2 shift in motion with Crane and Rainier. Crane has a blocker trying to bounce outside. Hits, dives forward, and is tackled at about the 5.
So what Coach did is he took his wing back and his halfback on the left-hand side, and on the call they switch over to the right side, but then they ran the ball back to the left. So it's pretty commonly done. You get the defense to move with those 2 guys.
Handoff, Thorne has some running room, charges forward, and he's in for a Bobcat touchdown.
Touchdown, Bobcats.
With 5:15 to go, Plymouth having a strong opening half.
Again, another great run by Robbie Thorne, and he cut it up. He's got good forward lean when he runs, and he has his shoulders down and his head up, and he just blasts through that hole.
Mansu for the extra point attempt. His kick is up, and kick is good. And he is 3 for 3 on extra points this afternoon.
I'm going to say that, Caden Mansu is just so dead-eye out there. I think we'd call him money, maybe, It's, he's done a nice job.
He's going to know if there's commentator's curse. He will know it was you.
Well.
Athletic Director Todd Austin saying thundering Robbie Thorne.
Robbie Thorne, going with the alliteration, the T's. I know that Coach Austin was a scholar in college.
Yes.
As most of the wrestlers were.
Coach, thank you for tuning in. You've got some family things going on, so glad you could join us on our broadcast. So here, Coach, if you're Bow, you're trailing by 3 scores, are you just trying to get something, a field goal, a touchdown on the board before half?
Well, I think you got to open it up a little bit and then maybe try to throw the ball a little. I mean, they're not running very well against Plymouth, and against that line, you're not going to. This is a pretty good kickoff down to about the 5.
Schumacher at his own 5, you said. Still finding some running room to the near side. Runs over a teammate and is out to the 25, and that's where the Falcons will start their next drive.
Nice tackle by number 22, Nathan Lyons. He's been on a couple of return kick tackles, but the guy that turned it inside was number 15, Logan Marsh. He fought off his blocker and he slid himself to the outside, which forced the running back to come inside, and there was Nate just waiting for him.
Falcons offense goes to work. 5:08 to go here in the second. Little confusion on the play setup. They're going to spread this one out. 2 wide receivers to the left. Throw out to that left side, finds McCabe. McCabe gets spun down at about the 30 for forward progress.
They ran kind of a funnel pass on that. The 2 receivers, the one guy drove the defenders deep, and then the outside guy, number 81, who was Brian McCabe, came across the middle. We had our backs in the flat, and he picked up maybe 4 or 5, but it was well defended, I think, too.
So clock continuing to run. About 4.5 minutes to go now for the Falcons to get something on before the break. Lover under center. Play action. Going to get scrambled out and is sacked in the backfield. And
Number
what do you know,
54.
once again, it's Emmett Nossaman.
Oh, Nossaman. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. It was a great play. It was a shoestring tackle on that. He was falling down, but he got a hold of him, and the big guy tackled that quarterback. So big play, and now it's 3rd down and about 11.
So we'll see if Plymouth will go into kind of a cover defense here. Trying to protect that first down marker at the 35. Deuces near side. It's McCabe and Gonzalez. Throw out is tipped at the line of scrimmage.
That was
Funches was the intended target, number 5.
It might be Brennan Johnson who I think got a hand on that, and it was a great play. He's a kid's 6'1", 195, so he's got some good size, and he got up in the air and batted that one down. So Bow tried to dump that pass. If they're going to run that, they got to spread it out a little bit further to get some distance from the receiver and the attacking defensive line.
So we're back to punt it away once again. It's a good snap. Decent kick. Marsh gathers it up at his own 44, trying to work out to the right side. Has some blockers in front across the Falcons' 40.
The wall was set up. It was number 2, Caleb Schumacher, who broke through because they had that wall perfectly set up. And he broke through it and made the tackle on that. But he was really the only one. Without him getting through, it would have been a longer return. But Plymouth special teams doing a good job where they're on the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 of Bow. And we're looking at 3 minutes and 24 seconds left in the half, which is plenty of time.
Again, for you fans here in the Plymouth area, hope you enjoyed Townwide Yard Sale Day. Caught me off guard. I forgot about it, so it was hard getting in here this morning. Hand off to Valenti, driving his feet across the 35 and tackled at about the 34.
Yeah. Nice job by Valenti. He cut back. You know, they're sending their backs to, they're running away from their backs with the ball, which is good misdirection. And he picked up maybe 6.
Looks like 6, yeah. 2nd and 4 here. Plymouth kind of going with that hurry-up offense. Trying to get another one on the board and a big hit at the 30. And it should be enough for a Bobcat first down. And again, it's Ben Valenti.
Yeah, and they're going to the hurry-up offense, or their 2-minute offense, basically. And it's always great to practice that when you can during a game.
And a timeout called by Bow, their second charge timeout of the half. With the Bobcats threatening, and really it's the ground game again we've seen. It feels like that's going to be the name of the game for the season, with you've got the likes of Thorne and Valenti just powering through the line.
Yeah. And, you know, you can see that the passing game is going to be there. It's going to get better and better. You know, Luke has thrown the ball well today. He's got some receivers that really can get after the ball. You know, Rainier was just such a pleasant surprise last week. That kid, you know, if you threw it near him, he was going to catch it. Actually, he had all the yards. He had 2 catches for 94 yards. So, you know.
And really had a third that was called back on a penalty for that touchdown.
That's right. That's right. But my understanding is his dad throws the football to him a lot.
Shout out to Dad.
Yeah.
We are back out of the timeout here. 1st and 10, Bobcats. 2:47 remaining in the second quarter. They're up 21-0. Diamond, 3-step drop, going to throw out to the right side and well ahead of his target there.
Yeah, he overthrew him, and then that was the wise thing to do because it was covered pretty well.
Eli Bargwin, the sophomore, was the target.
I do think that Plymouth can probably, if they want to throw the football, they can get it into the flats pretty easily, or right down the seam, down the middle. So they've got the plays.
Bobcats out of the huddle.
We're in that speed sweep formation now with a single back, full back, and 2 wings.
Valenti the lone in the backfield. Here comes Keene in motion. Diamond takes the hit, throws out and off the fingertips of Jackson Rainier. Oh, my.
And he still almost caught that. Backside pressure, number 2, Caleb Schumacher was coming like a madman backside, and Luke just got rid of that ball in time.
I think he was unmarked, too. Not even having to beat a man, just wide open on that edge rush.
Yeah, he didn't get touched. And but Jackson still almost caught that ball, so a good effort by him. And not a badly thrown ball, a little bit tough to catch, but still it was in the vicinity.
And I mentioned this last week that Diamond not afraid to stay in the pocket and take a hit, coming off of a couple of injuries in the offseason and through the spring, but it shows how much confidence he has inside that pocket.
Well, he's a tough kid. I mean, if you ever met his father, Officer Diamond.
Officer
Sergeant,
Diamond?
I mean, yeah, he's and again, now it's quarterback keep by design.
Diamond still charging forward. They'll give him forward progress to about the 26. With 2:25 to go, and it will be 4th down, and I think Plymouth's going to just try to go for it. Or they're going to try to kick it. Well, it looks like they're going to go.
Yeah, they'll go for it at this point. They're looking at about 2 minutes left in the half.
Still, wouldn't you want to try at some point in the season early on to try out Mansu's leg and see what you have?
Yeah. At some point, this probably wouldn't be bad either because he can make it from here.
Exactly.
Too.
Just see what he has. But nevertheless, 4th down. Bobcats going for it. 4th and 6, 4th and 7. Diamond in the shotgun, going to air it up over the middle.
And he's got a guy wide open.
Keene.
Keene.
And
that's 6 points. That's a touchdown.
Bobcat touchdown.
That was an extremely well-thrown ball, and Keene ran a great pattern, was wide open just behind the middle safety. A great execution of that play, and they threw that out of the shotgun, something that Plymouth hasn't seen much of in the last, 50, 60 years.
And no offense to Coach, not questioning call. I completely stand corrected with the touchdown pass. As Mansu's in for the extra point attempt here. And it's another good one. He's 4 for 4.
Money Mansu right there.
And it's 28-0 Plymouth here for the home opener with 1:24 to go in the second quarter.
Well, Plymouth's off to a good start, and even though there have been, a few more penalties once we mentioned there hadn't been any, but they've done a good job. But they've controlled it. They've come back. They're not losing any of their confidence and their poise out there. I think that we are definitely, stronger in the offensive and defensive line, which prevents Bow from having much of a running game and allows us to have a great running game. And also, when you can run the football, it opens things up for the pass. So it's been it's worked out really well for Plymouth this first half, but it's a whole game. And we'll see what happens in the second half.
And it's like you talked about. It's not one-dimensional. You're not just stuck with your running game and trying to drive it through. You're able to open up the field.
Yeah.
And again, if you start getting coverage downfield, now it opens up the running game. So it's great to see that for Plymouth once again.
Yeah. And there will be teams that they're going to struggle with maybe running the football that are bigger. And, and you've got to have that mix.
So kickoff gathered up by the Falcons by McCabe. And he'll be tackled at about the 34, about a 10-yard return.
Nathan Lyons, third tackle on a kick return in a row. Third one.
Been spectacular here in the first half on special teams.
Yeah, he's dialed in there, I'll tell you. He did a nice job, and he tackles nice and low. I think he might have had him waist high, but he's been waist high to the knee on all his tackles, and that just is a great way to take somebody down.
136 for the Falcons to work with here in the second quarter. We'd love to see them try to air it out downfield. I mean, they've got some speedy receivers if they try to go down the line.
Well, right now they got 1:36 left. So if you're going to have a 2-minute offense, now's the time to do it. Try to move the ball down, get it out of bounds, stop the clock. And now they're going double receivers right and left with one back and quarterback in the backfield. So Plymouth is playing off.
Oh, handoff and a big wrap up in the backfield. Great job there by Zach Carter.
Mr. Carter. Nobody got tricked. And, this is the same thing that Pembroke did last week is they would spread everybody out and then try to run the ball. And they did have some success, but not a lot. And on that, there was absolutely no success whatsoever. So, I don't know. You got to do something different. That's all.
Trying everything. Timeout here by Plymouth. Their second charge timeout, but both teams have one remaining for the half. And fans ever wanted to start your own TV broadcast? That is what community television is all about here at Pemmy Baker TV. Contact us. Share your show idea. Come down. We'll help you develop it, or we'll try to get it going for you. Contact us through email, pbtv@plymouth-nh.org, or call the station 603-536-8116.
So it's about 2nd and 14 or 15 from Bow's 30-yard line. And they've gone back to their tight formation. And it's actually their speed sweep with two wings, fullback. They're in motion.
Miller in motion gets play action. Sorry, I was looking at Miller.
Play action.
Here comes Lover trying to sprint out and is going to be tripped up at the 30 and dives to about the 34, the original line of scrimmage.
Liam Shannon came up, but he got some speed. That boy got the good angle on him and stopped him just before. Well, they're third and about 10 now. So he had great pressure from the backside. The Plymouth kids were coming after him. And he was running for his life, and then across came Liam and took him down. So great defense by the Bobcats.
Plymouth takes their third charge timeout to stop the clock with 1:18 to go. Third down and 10. And a chance to maybe get the ball back and a quick score here before the break.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is it's hot out there. And, and if you've got timeouts and you're up 28-0, take your time. Keep the kids as fresh as you possibly can. The heat is a factor. I think the Bow kids are a little bit tired, actually, out there. And, that's kind of what it comes down to. If you're in shape, you got to be ready for the fourth quarter. And that's where a lot of games are won and lost. And you've got to have the stamina to do that. And this heat will just kick the crap out of you.
Yeah, and all week, too, for all teams around the state. A lot of them struggling with practice times and the ability to practice because of it. So back here for 3rd and 10. Over under center. Play action, quarterback keeper, going to try to run up the middle. Dances past Rainier, still gets to the edge, and he's pushed out of bounds, but they'll keep the clock running. It'll be 4th down for the Falcons.
A couple of shots at him in the backfield. He did basically it was the quarterback keep reverse, and he got by a couple of guys who had good shots at him, and then finally they took him down, and it's 4th down and about 6.
So they're going to run the play clock and time down as much as possible and call the timeout. And use their final timeout.
Well, it'd be stopped because he went out of bounds.
No, it's still running, though.
Is it really?
Yep, the sideline referee with the forward progress is still in play.
Okay.
So they kept the clock running, and that's what Bow is waiting for, is to run this down until the back judges give the signal and then call the timeout and punt it away.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Which is smart. I mean, that's what you do. You live to fight another day. They'll be back at the halftime. Kids will get more rested and more hydrated and have a little more energy starting off the second half. And Bow's going to get the ball in the second half.
So 17 seconds on the clock here for 4th down. So glad you all could join us here on Pemmy Baker TV, channel 1302. On Spectrum Cable in the Plymouth and surrounding area. Also here live on Facebook and YouTube. Knock on wood if everything's going well today. Let us know how you're enjoying this angle here in the press box. We are still using the team camera, so thank you to Glenn Mousoff and the football team for helping us out with our coverage in the higher angle, but we are here on the press box side this season. So set for the punt by Bow. Decent snaps. Beautiful kick down the right sideline, and it bounces out at the Bobcat 27. Beautiful kick.
Yeah, he got that ball up, and he actually got the turnover on the spiral, which is what every punter dreams of doing every time. So, because it does aerodynamically add yards to your kick.
So it gives Plymouth 11 seconds to work with here. We'll see if they either try to run a play or just kneel it out. Both teams have used all 3 timeouts.
Taking a knee wouldn't be a bad idea. No one's going to get hurt.
You got that 28-0 lead. Just get to the locker room.
So they've basically gone into a big prevent defense with only three rushing linemen. And Plymouth's in their jet sweep formation.
Okay, in motion.
And that's what they're going to run.
Gabe Keene has him running him on the right side across the 40, still on his feet and tackled at the 45. And that will do it for the first half of action. So Plymouth does go with a play as we reach halftime here at Plymouth Regional High School, with the Bobcats leading 28-0. And Coach, looking at things, you got to think it's almost, I wouldn't say perfect because we know how Coach is, Coach Sanborn. Nothing's ever perfect
no.
as a football coach, but nearly a perfect half.
Yeah, pretty good. And I'm watching the Bobcats run off the field, and they're sprinting off the field. So I think that says something to the kind of shape that they're in. And, they've played a great game this first half. They've made very few mistakes. Nothing has come back to bite them, which is always good. And I think that they're bigger on the line than the Bow kids, and I think that makes a big difference. and they're just, we've got Luke Diamond has been on the money. The receivers have run great patterns. They're catching the football and then running. The nice thing too is you can get the ball to your running backs who've got technically, usually a little more speed than like a tight end or whatever, and you get the ball in Keene's hand, and he's going to take off with it, or Jackson Rainier as well. So those kids have done a good job, and it's pretty good at Bobcat football the first half.
So looking at things with Bo before we go to our break here, we've seen a lot of different setups, a lot of different formations, and trying to find something to get going. What do you see that could work well for them in the second half?
Well, I think unfortunately for them, they're kind of put in a position where they've got to throw the ball. They got to try to spread things out a little bit so that they can run as well. So maybe they go into the. Okay.
Got some coaches joining us here in the booth for a second, so we apologize for that.
Wait a minute.
With that, we're going to come back in a few minutes, get some more thoughts from Coach at halftime.
Let me just.
Oh, go ahead. What'd you get?
Coach Sullivan just gave me sent me a text, and he wanted me to look at it because Robbie Thorne evidently has had a nickname for some time.
Oh, okay. There we go.
And he is affectionately known as the Coke Machine.
I love it. So the Coke Machine doing his work here in the first half.
With no change back. That's great.
So thank you to Coach Sullivan for that. We're going to step aside. We're going to keep it right here on the field for you. We're going to mute. We'll be back in a few minutes, get some more thoughts on the first half of action and what both teams can do in the second half and get you ready for third quarter kickoff. But at the break, it's the Bobcats 28, the Falcons 0. You're watching Bobcat football here on Pemmy Baker TV. Welcome back on Pemmy Baker TV. We get ready for second half kickoff here at the campus of Plymouth Regional High School. Dan Salzer, soon to be joined by Coach Mike Courier once again here in our coverage. So glad you could join us. Bobcats leading 28-0 at the break in a fairly, I wouldn't say perfect as we talked about before going to our break, but very clean first half for the Bobcats. No turnovers, no fumbles, clean play as they have the lead. They'll kick off here to the Falcons. And Coach, we talked about it a little bit before going to our halftime break. What does Bow need to do? What can they do to try to find some offense?
Well, I think that, defensively, they need to slow Plymouth down. And in doing so, they need to really beat them at the tackles, because that's where Plymouth is running. And put some pressure on the quarterback. But offensively, I think they've got to throw the ball a little bit more, maybe stay in the shotgun, and do that sort of thing.
Here's Schumacher on the punt return, has some running room across his own 40, cutting back upfield, across midfield, and into Bobcat territory at about the Plymouth 39, and that has the Bow Falcons bench fired up here just below us.
And I was just going to say they get a good kickoff return here.
There it is.
But no, that was a great run. He cut through there and made some great cuts. They came right up the middle. And,
Caleb Schumacher with that sophomore with a great run, and he's been pretty active here today for the Falcons.
So they're in good field position. I mean, this, as you said, they're pretty emotionally jacked up here. So if they can maintain that kind of momentum and put a score in on this drive, that will go a long way towards them playing a little more aggressive and a little more hopeful football.
So we see Miles Miller coming back off the field. A lot of confusion. And an early timeout here by Bow on miscommunication on assignments and who's supposed to be on the field. So,
early season things. And what's unfortunate is, you take away a timeout in a game like this where you're behind especially, you're going to need that timeout at some point probably.
So we'll see Chase Flagg, the sophomore, come off the field, number 44 for the Falcons.
And these are the kind of mistakes, they're mental mistakes, and you don't want mental mistakes. Kids are going to make physical mistakes, but the mental mistakes, they're not really acceptable. As the coach out there who was yelling and screaming and swinging his arms will tell his kids. So, but that's unfortunate. It's sort of like when Coach Sanborn had his release last
Yes.
half.
Head coach Paul Cohen for the Falcons. Ready to go out of the timeout here. Miller in motion. Handoff. Finds McCabe. Trying to churn up field. Gets to about the 35.
Wasn't a bad play. He took that ball to the tackle on the left and cut it up into the hole. And he picked up about 4 yards. That's the kind of stuff they have to do.
So it is 4-yard carry. 2nd and 6 now. But really decent field position. The best we've really seen for a long time for Bow here on Plymouth's side. Get eye formation. Seen this a few times here. Handoff, McCabe trying to delay his run, and he's wrapped up in the backfield.
That was number 63, Mr. Zach Carter, who made a monster play on that. He broke through, bear hugged him, and brought him down. Great play.
Second time we've called Carter's name this afternoon. He had another big one in, I believe, the first quarter in the backfield. It'll bring up 3rd and 7.
This is a big play on this drive right now. If Plymouth can stop this with the 4th down, they're going to play. They're going to go two play downs. But
Schumacher trying to turn up field, gains maybe 2 or 3 on the carry.
Nice play by Jackson Rainier. Jackson fought off his blocker who slid by, and then he wrapped him up and brought him down. So that was a good. He was in the right place at the right time and did the right stuff. So a nice play by Jackson.
So saying 4th and 6, 4th and 5 And they're saying 4th and 4 now on the scoreboard. We'll go with it. Just out of my angle, so. But they're going to go for it here. They've got to at this point. Lover. Handoff.
Give it to the
Schumacher
tailback,
again. Driving to the 30. It's going to be close to the sticks. And it should be a turnover on downs. It looks like they're going to be short, and it is.
It is.
Tough break there for Bow.
Well, you got to kind of question. I mean, the quarterback runs fairly well. You roll him out with a quick short pass where he tucks it and goes, and I think you get a first down. Running between the tackles against Plymouth just is not working for him today. And it's just, beat your head against the wall, I guess.
So Plymouth will have their first drive of the second half. Only been stopped once so far today in the first punt of the season. Diamond will start under center. Handoff up the middle. And Thorne will get to about the 34.
Four on the carry. 54.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 here.
I like the kind of support we get from the Plymouth alumni, Mike Boyle, who's moved down to a position in Laconia, said that I was looking for a nickname for Rob Thorne, so everybody was giving their ideas, and Coach Sullivan gave me the one that he's had for a while, which was the Coke machine. We're in the speed sweep.
Key in motion handoff, and the Coke machine going forward. Thorne still on his feet across midfield. He's got room down across the 30, and he'll be pushed out at about the 15. And a big run there for Robbie Thorne.
And no flags. So Robbie, again, off tackle, and he just bumped it to the outside and did what he does best, which is to run forward, run hard. Don't try to trick anybody because you're just not that agile. But
he doesn't need to be with his size.
He doesn't. Everybody's got a different style of running. He's not going to, out agility anybody, but he is certainly going to run over them and run away from some of them. So that was a great run on his part. And a great job of the line.
So good field position here for 1st and 10 at the 16. Diamond rolls out to his right. Has Nossaman in front blocking. Going to take off and run. Couldn't find Rainier for the throw. Has a block and he's in for the Bobcat. Touchdown.
And I got to tell you, Rainier was so alone that he probably was depressed. He had nobody near him. But that was fine because, Lucas keeping the ball in his hands is not a bad idea. And as it turned out, he's got decent speed, and he went down the sideline and put up another.
But how about the blocking by Nossaman out in front as well? Allowed him to turn the corner, a couple on the sideline to get that touchdown.
Now, if Caden Mansu puts this through, as Mr. Money does, Plymouth is up by 35 points, and I believe we're going to have
We'll be running time.
Running time at this point.
And it will be after the kickoff here.
And I'm sure this was not what Bow certainly didn't hope for, but and maybe they didn't expect it either. But Plymouth has just played a pretty much faultless game. They're running the ball. They're making their blocks. The runners are doing a great job. Nobody's dropping the ball. Nobody's, throwing it away. It's been a good day so far.
And the only thing I could think of, the one blunder was the high snap that Diamond was able to gather on a bounce and still get back to the original line of scrimmage, if not a couple of yards. So that's really the only thing I could think of. But nothing from Bow. I know it's a tough score for them right now, but they lost so many seniors from last year's team. You've got to kind of rebuild and get that skill set back up.
Well, I was coaching with Coach Sanborn his first year. And the year before, Coach Lenahan, that was his last year, and we were loaded. That team could have played up a division. They were that good. We had Reiser and we had Keel. And both those guys went down and played a lot and started for, and actually Keel was a captain for UNH. So when you got Division I caliber players like that on your team, we were stacked. Now, the next year, we lost all those seniors who were so good, and we had a lot of young guys that had never historically been on the winning side of things, and they just didn't have that same mindset. And it was the first time, and I don't know how long, we didn't go to the playoffs. But Coach Sanborn certainly brought this program to where it needs to be.
Here's McCabe across the 30. He's got some running room on the near side. Across midfield, has 2 to beat. Past the 40, on his feet, still cuts back inside. And a late tackle, but a big return to about the Bobcat 21 coming for Gavin McCabe.
Well, Caden Mansu was the guy that finally brought him down, and he had to come fast, good speed in his part. But no, that's coming right up the middle, so something's breaking down in that kickoff team.
It's twice now here in the second half.
Yeah, and if nothing else, you don't want to give the other team hope. and something like that says, we can score. So we'll see what happens right now.
So Bow, fantastic field position. They mark it down at the 24. We'll say his knee was down there on the tackle. Under 7:40 to go here, third quarter. Lover. Play action. Rolls out to his right. Throws over the top. Has his target in Ryan McCabe. And he's tackled inside the 5. And the first time the Bow Falcons are inside the red zone, I believe, here today. If not, first time with inside the 5-yard line. They're marking at the 3.
Well, that was a good call. And, they play action, and then you just hit the kid in the flat. I mean, you don't have to be fancy. You just have to execute, and they executed that very, very well.
So the Falcons looking to get on the board here. A fantastic return and a great play. Lover. Hand off on the pitch to McCabe, and he'll be tackled forward for a Falcon touchdown.
There you go. Toss right over the tackle. 6 points. Nice job. And special teams for Bow in those last 2 returns have really given him some momentum.
So Gavin McCabe, who had that fantastic kickoff return, gets it in for the touchdown. So the McCabe brothers doing well there on that short drive. 2 plays for a touchdown. Doler on for the extra point attempt, doing double duty punting and kicking, and it's a perfect one. Right down Broadway for him.
Nice job by the Falcons on that great return that was set up, and then they had some good plays, and that play action pass into the flats was perfect, and kicker did a nice job putting it through. So first score of the day for them, and we're looking at 35-7 with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third quarter.
Doler last week 2 for 2 on extra point attempts, so perfect so far to start the season. And that's got Bow a lot more confidence. We'll see if this gets him another spark here. If they can get a good stop on this punt or this kickoff here, keep Plymouth deep in their own territory, and try to force a 3 and out, they're going to have complete momentum on their side. Fans, join us on Friday night for the next Bobcat football game when they travel to Merrimack Valley to take on the Pride. Kickoff at 6:30, coverage starting at 6:15 right here on Pemmy Baker TV and our social media channels. Goaler ready for the kickoff. Right to the far side. It's going to skip away from the likes there of Lions. Lions still trying to recover. Ball comes loose. And both think they have it. We're waiting for the word, and they do. The Falcons recover thanks to the likes of Thomas Shingle, the sophomore. I apologize if I said that incorrectly, but oh boy, what a big turn of events. So forget the 3 and out. Just get the turnover on the kickoff return.
Well, you can't put the ball on the ground, that's for sure. And that kick, I don't know if it was going to go out of bounds or not, but he scooped it up. I believe that was Lyons.
It was Lyons, 22.
Yeah, so Nathan Lyons Good attempt, but when you're going to get hit like that, you got to double up with the hands and keep it there. So now we're looking at a speed sweep formation with a single fullback, and quarterback's dropping back.
Glover going to be spun out to the right, has to throw it away, avoids, and a late flag. It's going to be a Knotsaman for.
It's again, this penalty is pushing in the back by Bow, so that's going to put them back.
Oh, I think they were going to get Knotsaman for a hit after the whistle.
Well, I think he had him in his grass, and he slammed him down fairly hard, but that's part of the game. And it was actually, so it was a push in the back or a
they are saying
block.
A push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So a good
break for Bow.
Good break for the Bobcats, and the quarterback did something that you don't see him do a lot. Is he was in the grasp and he just dumped the ball on the ground, which is a smart thing to do so you don't lose anything.
Yeah, you're out of the box. It's not intentional grounding at that point. There was a receiver in the vicinity.
Yeah.
So great heads-up play there by the junior quarterback in Brady Lover.
Penalty for a block in the back.
So it is a block in the back officially. So that'll move him out to the Bobcat 32-yard line.
And there's nothing wrong with getting a gift or two along the way. Good call by the officials down there. We're in a power eye right formation with double tight ends. Quarterback
Lover
to the tailback.
Handoff.
Number 2.
Schumacher gets to the secondary and across the Bobcat 25. And he looks a little shaken up.
Wrapped up by Eli Crane on that. Did a good job. Another Bobcat had a chance in a little earlier, but couldn't hold on to him. We're looking at, it looks like it might have been, they got back up to their 2nd and 12 now.
Schumacher still on the field. It looked like he was kind of almost scorpion on the tackle, favoring his back for a second, but it looks to be okay. 3 in the backfield here. Handoff, Schumacher getting the blockers and gets hit in the backfield. And once again, it's Eli Crane, number 40, coming up with a big hit.
Boy, I'll tell you, the defensive end for Plymouth stood him up and held him up. It was a reverse pivot handoff to the tailback, and Crane just waited for his minute and came up and stopped him. So there was no gain on that. It's 3rd and about 12.
So they do mark it at the 25. And you would love to see, if you're a Falcon fan, to get another quick touchdown here. Get back in this game. Lover going to roll out. Awkward throw, finds a receiver as something comes falling out from the top of the tower in front of us.
Water bottle. Pretty good coverage. That ball, when that left the quarterback's hand because he was getting hit, I said, that's a pickable ball. But fortunately for Bow, it hit one of their receivers. And
Eli Ayers, number 88, his first reception of the afternoon. Had a decent week last week.
And we're looking at 4th down and 5 right now.
And this is going to be...
And they're going to kick a field goal.
A 37-yard attempt here for Doler. Snap high. Kick is up, and it is no good. Just wide to the left. So a 37-yard attempt, his first field goal attempt of the season, is no good.
The Bobcats dodged another bullet. Hopefully what they'll do is get back on track with the running game, and they'll push the ball down the field and chew up some time. We're looking at 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. I want to put a shout out here to the grounds crew. They do a great job with the fields here, and they keep it looking good year-round, but they do a nice job.
Robert Cormier and his crew, always fantastic. Didn't have to do much watering this summer for sure.
No, we kind of had that covered.
So the Bobcats offense goes back to work here. 2:42 to go, 3rd quarter.
Rainier's wide open in the flat.
Finds him off his arms, though, on the throw from Luke Diamond.
That was a catchable ball. Unfortunately, he caught it on his arms and not with his hands. Otherwise, I think he would have held on to it. But still, he was open. And 83 was looked like he was open, too. Liam Shannon little bit deeper, but it wasn't a bad throw, and you're going to have those. So they're looking at 2nd down and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
And again, even with the touchdown, clock continuing to run here and running time. As the play call comes in, minute 50 to go here in the third quarter. Plymouth leading 35-7.
Speed sweep formation.
Again,
Straight ahead.
motion, handoff up the middle, and Valenti gets out to about the 30.
That speed sweep, the fake on the sweep, and handoff to the fullback up the middle is a great play. And I don't think anybody runs it any better than Valenti does. So he did a nice job on that.
So now we'll have a change at quarterback as Sanborn comes in for Diamond. And a handoff for Valenti gets enough for a Bobcat first down.
That's actually
Caden
Mansou.
It's Mansou, 14, not 16.
The money man on the extra points.
So my apology there.
Another great run, first down. Bobcats on their 41.
So Diamond's day, unless something unprecedented happened, has come to an end. So Mansou will get the play call and head back into the huddle. 43 seconds and counting remaining here in the third quarter.
And Mansou's got good speed. He's athletic. Wouldn't be surprised if you might see him tuck the ball at some point and run it. But we're in the speed sweep formation again. And they're coming this way.
Rainier in motion. Handoff to him. Tries to cut back up inside. Hit at the line of scrimmage and dives out to about the 43, 44-yard line.
Yeah, he's gonna. And that was, that cut was the right cut, and he couldn't keep his balance, but he pushed himself forward, so he picked up 4 yards, 3 to 4 yards. So that was a good run.
So that's going to do it here for the third quarter as the Bobcats will let the time run off here. As we'll head to the final quarter of play, it's Plymouth 35, Bow 7. You're watching Bobcat football on Pemmy Baker TV. Back here for the start of the fourth quarter. Teams will switch ends here. Bobcats driving. It's 2nd down and 6 here. Marked at their own 44. We'll see if we'll have any more substitutions coming in. It looks like we do have some secondaries and backups on the offensive line to start this quarter.
Yeah, I believe at fullback he's got Logan Marsh in now. And it looks like a new backfield.
Looks like a new center, too, trying to see the number.
Yeah,
it is. It's Michael Apriliano as the center. Marsh hit right away, but it's a quarterback keeper. Mansou across midfield. A little trickery on the option for the Bobcat first down.
I told you the boy can run.
Woo-hoo, yeah, he can.
That was a great kind of a sidestep slide through between the tacklers, and he picks the first down. But kid's got good feet. He's pretty athletic. But the kids out there blocking did a good job as well. We've got Cooper Legacy in there now. We've got number 80 is Grant Wenhart. 66 is Aiden Bryant. At center is number 50, Michael Apriliano, we just mentioned.
Plenty of new names out there. Handoff and just picked up and dropped is Russo.
I have a feeling that's what you call a lookout block. And he got the handoff. I'll tell you, credit to the running back. He held on to the ball.
Yep.
But he was met straight up by number 5, who is
Funches.
Yeah, Josiah Funches. He's a senior. running back and inside linebacker, and he came in and made a great tackle.
Brody didn't realize he had nowhere to go. We saw him keep running, but I'm like, you're in the air, you're going nowhere. But it's great. I know it's tough for Bow, obviously, in this situation, but for Plymouth to get experience in your backups, in your third stringers is huge heading towards the second half of the season in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And right away, Mansu is blown up as Zaya Funches breaks through the line.
Yeah, I'd like to see something's not right there, and I'd like to see that if I could see it on an instant replay, but he's not even getting touched.
No, just came clean through. Yeah. Colin McNair, the freshman, coming in to the line, number 51.
Well, we are looking at second and third teamers playing at this point in time. And, it's a little humiliation goes a long way in the learning process, I think. So, number 5, not to take anything away from the plays that he made because he made them, but these kids have got to get more experience and more savvy in terms of taking steps to block down or whatever they need to do to get in the way.
3rd and long for Plymouth back on their side of the field. Their own 47. Mansu going to roll out, try to find a target, and it's broken up nicely by Schumacher.
Brody Rousseau had his hands on it, but it was a fight a little bit in front of him and down low.
So Plymouth going to be forced to punt it away for the second time today and the second time this season. Trevin Stone, the senior, will come out onto the field. You'll see that starting group come back out here on special teams.
Yeah, there was absolutely no need for errors in transition.
High snap. Stone with an end-over-end kick down the right sideline. It will roll out inside the 25. They'll mark it looks like the 24, and that's where the Falcons will start their next drive.
Well, and the good news is when the ball goes out of bounds like that, there's no return yardage, so it's nice and safe. And they've got a drive now a little less than 80 yards for a touchdown at this point. So Plymouth's keeping a couple of their starters in, but for the majority of players out there, they're second and third team kids. Which again, as Dan has been saying, it's good experience for them in the line of fire against number ones, because these guys are starters for Bow and they're not coming out, and I don't blame them. You don't give up till you can't get there. So
Bow have to go 76 yards here on this drive for a score. Handoff in the backfield, trying to dance out to the near side. I believe that's Chase Flagg, number 44.
Yeah, number 15, Logan Marsh, with a nice tackle. He got down nice and low and hit him about the knees. So good form tackling on that.
Flag on the carry brought down by Marsh.
Bargwin comes in defensively, I believe, for the first time today, number 86. Listed as a defensive back on the roster, as well as a wide receiver. Tight formation, handoff again, and a carry out to about the 33 on the hands for Eli Wilkening.
I think that was Cooper Legacy on that. He got an arm in there and dragged the kid down. It was a pretty good play on his part. Third and short right here, so we'll see what happens.
6:25 to go here in regulation. Bobcats leading 35-7 here in the home opener. Plymouth trying to improve to 2-0 in the season. Bow trying to come back and avoid an 0-2 start. Handoff and hit right at the line. Harrison, Denise there not having anywhere to run.
Alex Fleury, on that tackle. He did a great job. He stopped him right at the line of scrimmage, wrapped him up, and put him down. So fine job by him on that play.
So 4th and 1 for the Falcons. And again, it's 4-down territory the rest of the way.
Looks like we got a new quarterback in, number 9.
Might be a little pooch punt
Jack
here.
Wheeler, who's a sophomore.
He's going to hand it off. Finds Smith. Smith gets close to the sticks.
Nice job by Cooper Mack, number 81. He slid right down from the end position and made a good tackle on that.
And they will give the Falcons a first down there on the carry. Gain of 2.
Well, they can chew that time up all they want. We'll keep running.
We talk about Jack Wheeler, the sophomore quarterback. First action for him this season, from what we can tell. Looking in the backfield. Also has Eli Smith, number 14, in the backfield. Goes to Smith. Cuts back up inside. Dances through some tacklers. Still on his feet in the secondary of Plymouth and out near midfield. And a great run there for Eli Smith, the junior running back.
And that tackle was made by, was that 87, I believe, Trevin Stone. And number 38, Cooper Legacy, was involved there too. So it's first down, but you know, it's tick, tick, tick. We got 4 minutes, 24 seconds left in the game. So if they're going to keep running on the ground, we'll just slow everything down, let the time run out.
Same formation again for the Falcons.
Ball on the ground.
Ball's loose.
Quarterback got it back.
Wheeler just covers it up and holds on and lives for another play.
That old center quarterback exchange is pretty critical. Nothing happens without it. So that's a tough one. And young people tend to not work a lot on that with the offensive centers. And you can't just work with the starter. You got to work with number 1, number 2, number 3, because you don't know about injuries and whatnot. So it's a critical piece. I know at Plymouth we did that a lot in the pre-practice.
In motion comes Anise. Running up there is Jared Doler.
Logan Marsh on the tackle. Logan did a good job. We had a couple guys that had a shot at him, but they kind of went by him. So, but nice play. He only picked up, if anything, it's 3rd and 10. So I don't know if he picked up.
Gained 2 on the play. Back to the original line of scrimmage with 3:12 to go. So you're seeing full second team in for Bow now.
And what you're seeing across the field that we're seeing with the Bobcats is number 89 comes off the field, and everybody's cheering for him and patting him on the back. Nice play and that sort of thing. So we got a good unit over there.
Pitch out in the backfield is Wilkening and hit right at midfield.
I believe number 61, I think, was the one that Logan Libby, I think, upended him, and then somebody else fell on top of him. But that was a nice stick on his part.
Libby and Stone heading off the field in addition to Page there.
And they're 4th down, and it looks like about 6.
Yep.
And Bobcats may end up taking over on downs if they can stop them here.
Still a good crowd on the hillside. Everyone kind of hunching underneath the tree for some shade on this warm Saturday afternoon in foothills of the White Mountains. 4th down for the Falcons. Handoff. Doler hit right at the line of scrimmage and a turnover on downs for the second time today.
You see number 72, Alex Fleury, again in on that with another couple guys I couldn't pick up. I think 62. Liam Hatzenbuehler. And a good job by the Bobcats. Now they're going to take over on their 48, I think, Coach?
Yep, 48 with a minute 39 to go, so probably a play or two and just kneel it out and finish today strong. A very solid game for Plymouth. Again, not too many mistakes. We saw that one poor snap on offense that still went back for positive yards, and really from there haven't been too many mistakes.
Yeah. So we've got Caden, Cavan Sanborn at quarterback. Handoff to the fullback.
Marsh. Still on his feet. Good job covering up the football as he's across the 45 down to about the 43, 42 with a minute to go in the ball game.
And Marsh is a sophomore. They've got some pretty good sophomores here, pretty athletic, and some juniors. So I think Plymouth's going to be looking to have a fairly bright future going ahead as well. Something I was going to say earlier, like with the Bow team, they lost so much last year, and it goes in cycles and waves in high school football, where you have a group of kids come through that are really pretty talented, and there's a lot of them, and then you have other down years where there's not as many.
Handoff to Marsh, hit right at the line of scrimmage, and looking at the clock, that should do it. Under 30 seconds to go, and Plymouth should just run it out, but who knows with Coach Sanborn if he'll try to run another play.
And that tackle was made by Caleb Schumacher. He's still in there.
Been everywhere, and hats off to him.
Yeah.
So it looks like Plymouth just going to run this one out here. 10 seconds to go. So Plymouth is going to pick up a big win here at home to start their home schedule. They improve to 2-0 with a 35-7 win over the Bow Falcons. The Falcons drop to 0-2 on the season here in 2023. No, Coach, we talked with Coach Sanborn before the start of the season, and there wasn't a lot of optimism. There was a lot of new players we talked about have really stepped up here in the last couple of weeks. And this is a team, granted, you still have your heart of your schedule coming up. You still have the likes of, you've got Sauhegan, you've got Kennett. That's always a battle. It's going to be here at home. But this is already starting to look like a solid team that can make a deep playoff run.
Yeah, if they all stay healthy, but then they've also got guys coming off the bench. The running back situation is pretty good because they have a half a dozen kids that can run pretty well with the football. Coach Sanborn was trying to tell us that, if he wins any games this year, it'll be great. And if he wins 2, he should be Coach of the Year. So I guess he's Coach of the Year today. But we know that's been something said back in the Chuck Lenahan days.
Yeah, I would say they're all Chuck Lenahans.
Yeah. So, but you don't want to be overconfident. Chris Sanborn does a great job. He's picked up the program. The first year was rough because we were down in terms of players that had experience and whatnot. But after that, I was fortunate enough to coach with him for 6 or 7 years. And the last 3 years that I coached, we won back-to-back state championships. And, a lot of programs can't tout that. It's
what is it, 26, 27 now in the state in football? I can't remember. Our producer, Andrew Fenn, who's joining us. Welcome back, Andrew, again here on Pemmy Baker TV. So glad you could join us. He's probably going to correct me once we go off the air. But, again, you can think of it as last year a down year. You lost a talent. Yes, you had Dylan Welch in that great running game, but that's really all you had offensively. Yeah. You had a quarterback situation. Diamond, first time starting partway through the year, really took over in the midpoint of that Laconia game on the road and was starting quarterback the rest of the year. And so now it feels as this group is really cohesive, tight-knit, and can make a deep run. Coach, any final thoughts before we sign off here?
Just, you look at these young guys, and even if you look at the quarterback, he was a sophomore, now he's a junior. That 1 year makes a big difference. Last year I know they had 3 or 4 quarterbacks, and one kid got done after COVID, and some other kids didn't play much anymore. But they had a rough spot there, and I think they're a lot more secure right now. I think Luke's doing a good job. And looking at Mansu, number 14, and you got a freshman, Kevin Sanborn, coach's son. So I think you've got a good future coming up around that position, and the other positions are looking pretty good too.
So that's going to do it for us here this afternoon. We thank you so much for tuning in. Again, join us on Friday night, first Friday night game of the week, as the Bobcats will travel to the Pride and take on Merrimack Valley. Coach and I will have the call of that game on the road right here on Channel 1302 and on Facebook and YouTube. But for all of us here, thank you to Andrew Fenn for joining us on the broadcast and lending himself up from BC TV and coming back home for this weekend. For Coach and Mike Courier, I'm Dan Salzer. Final score for the final time. It's Plymouth Regional 35, Bow High School 7. We'll see you next time here on Pemmy Baker TV.